Alright, so I released my story again, so this isn't the first time I told it. The first time I told it had all the doctors' names in it and everything. No, I didn't get arrested or in any trouble for it. I took it down because what happened was a lot of bad shit. People died. So I learned not to tell the truth, and I tried to just move on and go to work, and I'd go through these times of mourning the loss of my children and these anniversary dates and whatnot, and my mental health would go downhill and my physical health was going downhill, and I didn't know why for a long time. But it took me 3 years to realize the reality that I was living in. So for me to put together all these videos and whatnot and just talk about it, it all sounds insane because, like I said, it took me 3 years to figure it out. It was 7 years worth of violence altogether. And at the end of it, I was told I was the top 10% by one of the doctors that was in charge of the clinical study. So basically, I stopped fighting. I chose not to argue with doctors anymore, and I wanted to move on with my life. But I was sick, and one day I went into a doctor's office and he told me I had a little infection, and I went and I got treated for parasites. After that, I went back to get the second dose, and the pharmacist told me I was delusional. Now, part of this whole study is consistency. Hearing a doctor saying that to another nurse that wanted to tell me the truth was basically, it's one of my PTSD moments, but yeah. So I'm gonna die of this infection. Ironically, that I got eating baby bones from dog shit. Trying to save a baby in the wall. Going to a hospital, being told I was delusional. Being released. That baby died. I have pictures of the fire that Darcy built. And I know where that baby went. I have a picture up on my wall. Maybe I'll start, I did a lot of artwork trying to get over all my traumas. Maybe I'll start making videos about that too. But my biggest thing is I hope that this does get a whole bunch of views, because I could have moved on. I survived so much. They should have killed so many. And for a long time, I thought I didn't deserve to live. It took me losing my memory and remembering everything back. Remembering going to the doctors, begging for help, being told I was delusional. Being sterilized, raped. Just everything that went with it. And today, if I ask a doctor if I have any kids, they'll tell me no. And I have scars on my body, and my body doesn't lie. So basically in the next month, I'm getting a heart rate monitor, ECG machine, and an ultrasound. I have lost the other picture of my ultrasound that I had, but the way I figure it, if these are showing up in x-rays and ultrasounds, I could spend all day playing with an ultrasound and I'll find something. I will go back to the place where I know I can get a sample, get it tested, get those test results. I'm going back to the doctor and I'm getting a complete physical. Now what's going to happen is that physical is going to come back that I'm perfectly healthy, that there's nothing wrong with me. So we're going to hear that, and we're going to watch the reality of the medical equipment that I buy. And you can hear the words that they tell me. Maybe, I've been told so many times, I'm sorry that happened to you. One doctor actually told me, we have to sacrifice one for the many. A nurse told me, oh, you've helped so many women. My thing is, I left a very abusive situation and I chose to move on. And I got drugged back into a horrible past. And that cycle continued for 5 years. I'm a saver. I save everything. So once I get everything put together, then I'll come out with my name. Once I have a whole bunch of viewers, I will give out the doctors' names, the 5 doctors that wrote the words on the screen that makes it okay for me to die. So nobody will believe a word out of my mouth. The words that cover up the hands of the doctors. What they've done. So the only reason I'm putting all this out is because I could have moved on. I could have built a life for myself, a future for myself, relationships. But instead, today, I'm preparing to get so sick I'm gonna die. I know I'm not going to last much longer. I really don't care if you believe my story up till now or not. All I hope is that you keep sharing it. So when my name comes out and people start talking and the link goes together and the people unite and they can't buy off courts and they can't buy off or transfer cops. All I wanted was the same rights of every other Canadian citizen. The only thing I have is free will. And my free will to live and build and move on has been taken over a parasite infection that can be solved with a $13 prescription. But instead, I've been living for the last 2 years off vet meds. That x-ray told me, my chest x-ray, it's not working. I'm getting sicker and sicker, even with taking the medicine. I don't want to die with the blame of 33 lives on my shoulders, because in reality, it's not mine to hold. I didn't have any choices. I was drugged the fuck out of. If you watch Say No to Drugs, that's how I was when I was being drugged on top of that, and raped, and beaten, and coat hanger abortions. And the chaos. I've had to relive this over and over and over again, and it's been 5 years since I left. And I relive it because they drugged the fuck out of me, because of the words on the screen. So I wanted this to be a shorter video, but this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm making crystal clear. Not all crystals are clear. It takes time. It takes the proper environment and time. The right time, if you find that crystal, you can see clearly. soon everything will come together. I do feel like a horrible person for the parts of my life that has happened. I know I'm going to be judged horribly. But the fact is, I'm dying, and the truth always comes out in the end. And if my story's going to be told, it's going to be told by me.